Hello and welcome. This is Inside Politics, and the station still is Universal Television, UTV Africa. Thank you for joining us. It's Inside Politics. My name is Maduka Ujimadu. What we do here is we talk about Nigeria. We talk about Nigeria's growth, its development, its politics, and its policies. We bring people here to come and help us make sense of all of these issues. And these are usually people that have something to say, things that make sense. As we talk about Nigeria and how it grows, we basically talk about the state of the nation. Today, we'll be looking at the issue of professionals and their involvement in politics. A lot of times we hear the phrase like some people are professional politicians, and some people say, oh, he doesn't have a second address. Politics is all he does. And we've always encouraged all segments of Nigeria's society to get involved, be active, give their voice, lend their support, and play an active role in shaping the political future of Nigeria. And so to help us make sense of this issue about professionals being involved in Nigerian politics, we're being joined by two gentlemen from the Nigerian Democratic Congress NDC Professionals Forum. First of all, let's welcome the coordinator of this group. He is Ikenna Owakwe, FCA. He's a chartered accountant. Ikenna, great to have you join us today.
Thank you.
And beside Ikenna is the National Secretary of this forum. He is a lawyer, a legal practitioner, Ndukwe Charles Ndukwe Esquire. Barrister Ndukwe, you're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we're talking about professionals in Nigerian politics. Let me start with you, Ikenna. Some people would say that those who have something meaningful doing have no business being involved in politics. More or less, it looks like we leave politics for those who have time for it, those who have nothing else doing. I don't know if that's a wrong notion, it's a wrong perception. Help me talk to us about it. Really, what is there really a place for professionals like you? Because I know you're a practicing accountant. You work 9 to 5 every day. Do you still have time to do politics? Is it something feasible for other professionals like you to do?
Yeah, really it is. Actually, politics should not be left in the hands of those who do not possess the features, the training, of spearheading the affairs of men and women, of countries, of organizations. So there's a very big place for professionals in politics. In short, professionals should occupy a very large and important space in politics. So any person who has that notion may be holding the wrong end of the stick. Thank you.
Okay, Attorney Owakwe, let me come to you now.
Ndukwe, right?
Sorry, Ndukwe, right? Yes. The Kwekwe there is, they're getting in the way of each other. Yes, Attorney Ndukwe, let me come to you. I'm just trying to look at it. Some people think that if there's an attempt for professionals to get involved in politics, one or the other is going to suffer, even though the coordinator here is saying that, in fact, it's such people that should be leading the affairs of people. But how come people think that one of them will suffer? Either you end up not making a good politician, or you end up not being a good professional. How true is that feeling?
Yes, it is not absolutely that way. It's not true. Let me say that. It depends on the individual and time management. And a professional is trained to balance his time with other activities. It could be partisan activities. It could be even extracurricular activities like maybe sports, recreation, and all that. So it's not just about, for instance, I'm a lawyer, it's not just about law. So partisan politics now requires professionals indeed, because What is politics? Politics, some people tell is just about leadership. Yeah, leadership just an aspect of it. The main goal of politics is to deliver good governance. And how do you deliver good governance if you don't have professionals that are trained, that are experienced, that are conditioned to, or let me say, disciplined to deliver on this goal? How do you, when you bring down professionals into politics, they don't understand they may understand, they may know violence. Violence is not a part of politics. But why do non-professionals resort to violence? Is because they have nothing to offer in partisan politics. So but when you bring in professionals, you see that professionals are already trained to understand the terrain, to understudy the needs of the country in question, or the state in question, or whatever territorial political constituency or whatever we are talking about. So they know, does this country or this entity, does it have a security issue? We have experts in security. Does it have the issue of revenue generation? Is there a downfall trend in the economy? We have economists, we have accountants. Do we need to switch from agriculture to industrialization? Do we need to balance agriculture with industrialization of the, you have professionals in that field? Then that is aside the main politics of winning power. So the issue is, these professionals also, because they have these visions already, they want to align with the political party or the candidates of the day that share the same vision, and so that they can streamline this into an aspiration. And when this party wins, they will now come into the platform by way of advising.
Okay.
And so all is about nation building. So a professional actually can balance this with his professional work. I mean, it's about time management, like I say, and even professionals are already trained to manage their time, to know what time to allot to what subject.
Activity.
Yes, thank you.
Not just quite very recently, during the annual general conference of the Nigerian Bar Association, the former governor of Rivers State, who is former minister of transport, and to the best of my knowledge, recently he also became a lawyer. Actually, while reacting to a question by another lawyer, said something which some people found dismissive, when he said, those of you here, there's not more than 54,000 of you in this place who are lawyers. Even if all the lawyers do not vote for my party, we will still win. That in itself sounded like a dismissal of the impact that professional bodies like the Nigerian Bar Association can have. And so that brings me to the issue. Why then is the NBA inviting these candidates, having them come to talk about, because a lot of the issues surrounding subsidy and reforms and all that, security, were broached at that conference. So why invite them when even someone you could say is a lawyer is saying, hey, what you guys say and think here doesn't matter? I'm asking you,
Okay.
Ndukwe.
You know, one thing about politics is some people see politics from their own perspective. Some perspectives are narrow, some are wide,
Yeah.
rather. Yeah, so though I wouldn't know what the maker of the statement had in mind. But from a general point of view, winning an election is not just about the beginning of success in political leadership. The beginning of success in political leadership is you win an election and you deliver, so that when you leave the political office, people can make reference to the time you were in political office and say, we remember it was retired General Olusegun Obasanjo that brought telecommunication, GSM, to Nigeria. It's a plus to him. Maybe because you see the caliber of persons he used in his cabinet, in his administration, most of them were professionals. So I don't know if any government can really survive without lawyers.
So for you, success is not about the fact that you won an election,
yes,
but what kind of impact did you make and leave?
Yes,
with the power you obtained.
With the power that you have obtained, that is political success. Okay. You understand? So to be narrow-minded is to say it's just about winning an election. That is not to say that the Nigerian Bar Association is not a heavyweight in politics in Nigeria. Of course, everybody knows that it is. So if anyone made any statement to the contrary, it is quite erroneous, to say the least.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me come back to you, Ikenna.
Yeah.
Some people say politics is dirty. Yeah. And that if anyone is entering politics, you have to be ready to dirty your hands and be dirtied, and even you dirty other people. And professionals are supposed to be thoroughbred people who go for the purest of things. So how does a professional person get himself to get involved in the dirty, murky waters of politics, unless you're saying, indeed, in reality and in truth, politics is not a dirty game?
Okay, thank you very much. Absolutely. Politics is not a dirty game. It is those who have that misconception about politics that believe or think that it is a dirty game. Okay, talking about having talks, having to soil one's hand before one can succeed in politics, is when you leave it in the hands of those who are not even, well lettered, who are not professionals, who are not cultured, who are not trained, who have not undergone some level of training that will make them understand how to respect the dignity of the fellow man. And politics are about governance, about resource allocation, generation, and how do you ensure the welfare of the people? How do you make an established system to work very well? Then how do you now create and sustain, the human race within the confines of the environment where you find the governance, right? So professionals are also brave people. And let me tell you something. If you make laws and establish principles that are good, there's nobody that wouldn't want to abide by that if implementation processes are well established. That talks or people do whatever they like in politics and go their way, they put that fear in people. You think you're a professional, therefore you leave it in the hands of all those touts, so to say. Then I think that's not the truth. Professionals are brave men and women. For you to undergo a certain level of rigorous training, that means you are strong. And the strength is not about gun. You want to use gun, then you join the military. Do you get the point? At times, the pen is even mightier than the gun. So professionals should not leave politics in the hands of those that make it look as if it's a very dirty game. It is not. It is where rules about humans are made. It is where governance, is done. It is where resources are generated, resources are managed, resources are distributed. So those who understand how these things will be done should be professionals. Not just professionals, any individual that has trained himself or herself in a way that is disciplined enough to respect procedures and the dignity of the fellow person should be involved. So that notion that it is dirty, I don't subscribe to it. Thank you very much.
Let's come to your organization now, the Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC Professionals Forum.
Yeah.
What gave rise to this body? Why NDC? Why did the people that make up this group come together and say, okay, we are going to form this forum? Why the NDC? Why not any other party?
Oh, thank you very much. The NDC, because the mantra of a new Nigeria that is possible is based on decency. It is based on rule of law. It is based on improving the well-being of Nigerians. It is based on improving the economy, making Nigeria livable. So we have looked at all the parties, we feel and we believe and we are convinced that NDC, through their policies, and the strategies, has that which is needed to make Nigeria work, to make a new Nigeria possible. Now, NDC Professionals Forum is made up of, professionals, skilled Nigerians from different professions. It's a network of...
Just for the purposes of clarity,
Yeah.
how do you, who do you classify as professionals?
Oh, thank you very much. Any person that is a member of any professional body that is established by the Act of the National Assembly.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
So if your professional body is established by the Act of the National Assembly, by any Act of the National Assembly, then we recognize you as a professional body. You can't just say you are doing this. If there's an act establishing that profession, and then you are a member through the normal process of becoming a member, that's so. Okay. We are from different professions, and then we are in the NDC. So NDC
card carrying members.
Yes, card carrying members.
Yes, card carrying.
Card carrying members. So it's like a support group inside the party. So we help in policy,
policy
formulation. We support policy formulation. We help in analysis. We also make inputs. Ours is just to support the party. We don't compete with the party.
Okay.
Do you get the point? We support. We analyze. We look at issues of governance. We look at the realities, like our presidential candidate has been talking about moving from consumption to production. It is our duty as a support group to look at that. On what basis? Why is he saying that? What can we make out of that? As professionals, those in the finance, economics, and accounting area, we'll now look at it and bring out a policy document that we will now submit to the party as a support document to look into this. So it's like a knowledge bank. We serve as a kind of knowledge bank, for the party. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Yes, we have the mainstream leaders of the party, but we provide, opportunities for the party to also harness the potentials
within it.
And then it may interest you to know that NDC Professionals Forum is structured in such a manner that we have directorates.
Okay.
Not just I'm the national coordinator. We have the national, executive council, but we have directorates based on the various professions.
Okay.
We have the legal directorate headed by Barrister Roland. Then we have the medical directorate. We have the ICT. We have the blue economy. We have the finance and account directorate. So we have the engineering directorate. So we have in clusters. Yes, in clusters. So that is how it is structured. Do you get the point? Mm-hmm. So thank you very much.
Okay, I don't by Charles Ndukwu, I don't know if there's any thing you want to add to what he has just said.
Yes, what I want to add is that we are also looking towards hosting a national colloquium.
Yeah.
We are planning towards that, in which we fully declare our visions.
Okay.
Yes, and plans, and we'll be inviting some other persons who will feature in that colloquium.
Okay.
Aside our members, we have so many members across our membership course across the.
Because I was also going to ask how many members you have. So you've already come there. How many? What's the strength, the numerical strength of your membership?
We are in about 20 states established, well established already in 20 states right now. So our members, registered members, about 426 already. But there are other people who support us who have not actually joined.
Yes.
So the number, the 426 we are giving you, are registered members of the NDC Professionals Forum. Good. Just as he's talking about the national colloquium projected to hold in September, third week of September. You know, it's a policy dialogue where we'll bring out our policy document and then invite people, dignitaries of the party, even experts, from various sectors. So it's still on, and very soon we'll let the world know about it.
If it's a policy support document.
Yeah.
Yes, we are trying to launch a policy because
Yes.
I'm also thinking
we want to discuss discuss New Nigeria. New Nigeria is possible.
Yes, it's very, very possible.
So we want to discuss that ahead of 2027 and beyond.
Yes.
Because my thought is to question you on these policies, these new Nigeria policies you're talking about. And let me start right up your alley, the economy.
Yeah.
Peter Obi has spoken extensively about going from consumption to production.
Yes.
And many people are asking, what's the blueprint for doing this? It's not just enough to say you're moving from consumption to production, but what are the practical means of getting this done?
Okay. Now, remember, each time he talks, he talks about the manifesto.
Yeah.
The party has a standard manifesto.
Yes.
We, as a support group of professionals, we also have policy support documents we are joining. But let me now let you know, when Peter talks about moving from consumption to production, people don't understand. Nigeria is a four-sector economy. If you look at the aggregate demand, Nigeria is it's not a closed economy. A closed economy is economy that has three sectors. What are these four sectors when we say four-sector economy? You have let's look at it from the consumption or even expenditure, approach. You have the households, you have the private firms, you have the government, you have what called net export. So consumption or expenditure from these households, then consumption or expenditure from the firm, consumption or expenditure by the government, and then talk about the net export. Now, if you look at this thing, the national income equation, when you have the C, which represents the household, plus the I, which is the investment by private firms, plus the G, which is consumption or expenditure by government, plus bracket X minus M, which is X represents export, while M represents import. That is why you get the aggregate demand. And let me shock you. Unfortunately, the third sector, which is the government, is the one that is now spearheading everything about these other four sectors. Can I shock you? The government revenue, the major sources of revenue to government will be tax and the oil in Nigeria. Is it not true?
True.
Tax has never contributed up to 8% to the GDP. Oil revenue has never contributed up to 8% to the GDP. These are two major sources. Now, if the two major sources from government are contributing less than 8%, that's 16%. And this 16%, that is what you are contributing to our economy. And you want to control the remaining 84%, right?
Yes.
That's wrong. The private, if you look at our GDP recently, you now find out that the service industries, and maybe agriculture and other activities contributed highest to the GDP. And these are anchored by the private, the households and the firms. So what Obi is telling you is that when you move people out of poverty, you are strengthening that aspect of the aggregate economy. which is the household, whether they are consumption or expenditure. Now, if the firms, the private firm, which is a pillar of the production, do you get what I'm saying? Now, is strengthened. Now, government remains where it is. Then the export, the other one, which is the net export, is not just done by the government. It is about the international, trade.
Framework.
International framework. So the export is not done by government alone. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Then the import is also not done by government alone. So out of the 4 sectors, you now find out that the private individuals control 3. Government is only 1. And that one contributes less than 20% to the whole economy. So why will you now, your role is just to give enabling environment,
For the
make policies that will help these other sectors to grow. So OB is telling you that when you look at the aggregate economy, look at major 4 sectors. Now, the private individuals, which is the private household, should be strengthened through what they produce, and by producing, they consume. Aggregate demand or national income is increasing. Now, the private firms, the same thing. So rather than focus on this sector that contributes less than 20% to the GDP. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
So that is what, in practical terms, people will say it's classroom economics that is giving data and statistics. That's wrong.
That is real.
That is the reality. That is the reality. Thank you very much.
Now, I want to add.
Okay.
What is more classroom than asking people to bring their account numbers so that you give them money to subsidize today, and you solve their problem at the moment, and tomorrow the problem persists? You understand my point?
Yeah.
That is not economic development.
All right.
Yes.
We'll hang on that thought because I would want us to come back to, but we'll have to proceed on this break. When we come back, this conversation continues. So stay with us. It's going to be a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. It's still Inside Politics here on Universal Television UTV Africa. My name is Maddox, and today we're looking at the role and involvement of professionals in Nigerian politics. Do they have a role to play? Are they playing that role? If yes, how are they playing it? What's the impact, and what difference can it make in 2027? And I'm here with 2 gentlemen who have been helping us make sense. They are from the Nigerian Democratic Congress NDC Professionals Forum. With us is the National Coordinator, Ikenna Owakwe, FCA. He's a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Accounting. And of course, with him is the National Secretary. He's a lawyer, attorney, Ndukwe, Charles Ndukwe. And together they've been taking a look at the issues. Do remember, you can always come back here for more episodes of great conversations like this on Inside Politics. And you can watch more great programs on UTV Africa. Catch us in some areas of Nigeria on Star Times, and also you can catch us on NigComSat. We are also available across all social media platforms as UTV Africa. YouTube is also a great place to watch our full episodes. So always make sure you keep track of what we do here on Inside Politics. Of course, it's where we talk about the state of the nation. So before we went on that break, we were talking with Ndukwe, Charles Ndukwe, the lawyer here. He actually drew us in the direction of a conversation we were going to have, and that is the reform policies of this current administration, the Tinubu administration, which are anchored on 2 key planks. One is the removal of a subsidy on petroleum products, and the second one is the unification of the FX windows. And he said, look, there's nothing more classroom than giving, collecting account details from people to pay little sums of money for them. You could solve their problem today. Tomorrow's problems are still there. So let me come to you, because the Social Intervention Program, SIP, is what you could say the current administration inherited from the Tinubu administration. There are different programs under the SIP through which they give out grants, loans, whatever name they are called, to different sectors. And you're here saying it's not adequate. But so many people have said, well, these are some of the interventions that ought to have followed the subsidy removal. But let me ask you, What's your reaction to how the government has managed the subsidy removal and the unification of the FX window? So many people who support the government keep saying that these were master strokes that saved Nigeria from the brink of disaster. Tell me how well you think they've managed this removal of subsidy and the fallouts from these two key reform issues.
Yes, in my opinion, the management of these reform issues, subsidy, and the rest has been grossly inadequate. Yes, very, very inadequate. I will give you reasons. Before the removal of subsidy, we were assured that with the removal of subsidy, because subsidy removal had a lot of opposition, and we are told that when this subsidy will be removed, Nigeria will make a lot of money from this subsidy removal. And this money will be channeled into developing the economy, into providing some healthcare facilities, many things, supporting education. In fact, even amenities in general. That Nigerians will feel governance, the positive impact of governance, more when subsidy removal happens. In essence, they were trying to tell us that there is more to good governance than just buying cheap petrol.
Okay.
Yes. And we said, okay. But now, today, we have not seen any change. The question is, how much have we realized from subsidy removal? How has that been accounted for? Has it been in our budget as income, expected income? Have we been told where the money was channeled to? Has it been used for these reasons that we are given for which it would have been removed? Yes, we don't know how subsidy money was used beyond what we read on the pages of newspaper and what presidential advisors go to tell us on social network pages or handles. And that is far less transparent than what the average Nigerian expects from the government of the day. So now, that is about subsidy removal. Now, I am talking about the impact of the economic policies of this government on the common man. Who is the common man? The common man includes the unemployed. The common man includes the underemployed. The common man includes the retiree in the village. How has his life improved by this removal? Okay, now talking about send your account number, join this platform, follow this link, government will send you money, loan. And you will use that loan to offset the debts that you have already incurred before even the loan came. And then you fall back to your poor economic situation. So what I'm saying is that government should look at long-term economic policies that will deliver positive impacts. Like these sectors that we are talking about, how do you inject these policies into these sectors? How do you inject money into these sectors so that these people who are supposed to feel the positive impact are feeling it, I mean, in a long-term effect, not just the immediate effect, but both immediate and long-term. So that the woman who is in the village will go to buy kerosene and find out that kerosene, because some people are still using kerosene, it's now cheaper than what she used to buy it before. And she will say, yeah, this is how she feels it. So the other time the state governor was saying, why people complaining about the situation of power in this country, that why can't people transit to solar? Is it everybody that can afford solar? The old woman in the village, the old man, can he afford solar?
Even asking people to transit to solar is an admission of
failure. It's an admission of failure. You understand? So it is high time these our leaders come down to see things from the perspective of the people, the followers, the average, the common man. Because it's just like being on the tree and the person you are trying to reach is not just down the tree, is down the hill on which the tree stands. For you to reach him, you have to come down from the tree and walk down the hill. That's when you understand his plight. So we are looking for long-term economic policies that have long-term goals, not just immediate impact. In fact, the use of that word palliative, poverty alleviation, it's insulting on Nigerians. We are talking of poverty reduction. to the barest minimum, not palliative, not poverty reduction, not poverty alleviation. You understand?
Yeah.
Poverty should be eliminated, reduced to the barest minimum. Yes, if possible, if it's possible to just vanquish it, let it be vanquished.
All right.
Yes, thank you very much.
So, Ikenna, let's come to you. Some of the, I guess, the supporters of this government and functionaries of this government, the biggest achievement you could say they boast about is this reform agenda of the government, which they are saying, yes, the effects are biting, but the impacts are around the corner. Do you agree?
I don't agree totally. You know, it seems most of these policies, the FS unification and subsidy removal, it's like things they just copied. They didn't actually, initiate and then have a plan about how to go about some of these things. What else will I say? The president on his inauguration day just said subsidy was gone. So our party, our presidential candidate has been talking about, yes, removal of subsidy is not a problem.
Yeah, because I was going to say,
It's not a problem.
Peter Obi has always,
Yes, it's not a problem.
even before the elections,
Yes.
he agreed he was going to
Thank
remove
you.
subsidy. So why don't
It's
you
not
agree
a problem.
that
The problem is fighting the corruption in subsidy removal. So I want to believe, it's my own opinion, I think these people just copied without knowing what it entails, to remove the subsidy and then sustain everything around it, So that's the point. Removal of subsidy is not bad, on just as my party has taken that position. The problem is, do you have the capacity to fight the corruption within that subsidy removal? Now, FS unification is also not a problem. But the point is this, is still, I don't want to accuse any person of anything, but I know that's what we call insider dealings. They are using these avenues to make dollars, make foreign currencies for themselves. Yes, they reported the other time that the effect, if you look at the foreign reserves, it increased. And what is the effect? How would that translate to the well-being of the common man? Economics is scientific. Yes, present-day economics is scientific. It's a social science, yes. It can be normal, it can be normative, but it is scientific. It talks about what is and not necessarily what ought to be. Now, if you say these policies are yielding results, positive results, look at what is. What is there any believable evidence to support that view that the policies of this government, are yielding positive results? No, I don't think.
Well, the president will talk about the fact that states now have a lot of funds to do what they need to. Just recently, he said before now, states were coming to Abuja cap in hand to look for bailouts, to pay salaries and all that. But right now, that's not the case. Many of the state governors who have also executed some projects have come out to say, well, we were able to do this because of the subsidy savings, even though some specific questions are being asked about the savings from the subsidy. And then the federal government would also point at infrastructure projects across the country, roads, railways, etc., the coastal highways, for instance, and said, these are the achievements coming from this. We wouldn't have done this if we had continued. In fact, the mantra is that Nigeria's economy would have collapsed.
I doubt. Let me tell you something, sir. If you devalue Naira, if our Naira is weakened, this phone, maybe previously when Naira was strong, you are buying it, say 50,000 Naira. Naira is weakened. It's now 150,000, and I'm giving you 100,000. Have I not given you an increase from 50,000 to 100,000? But can you now buy the phone that is 150,000 now? In production curve, production can increase at a decreasing rate.
Okay.
things can increase at a decreasing rate. At a point, they will start declining. So Naira is devalued. We are consuming. Then you say they are looking at absolute values. They are not looking at the proportionate increase of value these policies are contributing to the economy. So what matters is the proportionate value or increase, the rate, not necessarily the absolute value. That you are giving somebody additional 2 billion naira when actually, when the person had, a lower amount, the money had more values than now.
Power.
So what are you now talking about? So let them not keep deceiving people with the absolute figures. We are looking at the reality, the real figures.
The purchasing power.
Thank you.
Of
the real value of the currency. That is it. But is it not ridiculous? Is it not ridiculous that a leader will say, I am giving them money, I have increased their money in a federal system of government? And I don't know why these people are having the shameless boldness to even say the president has given us more money, if not because of him, if not because of it's I don't know, as if he has the carte blanche, as if he has a carte blanche to do whatever he likes.
So you support those who are calling for how these monies have been put to use. Some people are saying that they should tell us. Taiwo, the Minister for Finance, tried to do some explaining on it, but many people think I don't know what you think about the explanations he gave.
The minister is a professional, is an expert. When you have such a person, he always have something to say. You understand? But it's difficult to defend this government. It's very difficult. And the other day he said it was not the duty of the government to explain how all the monies, all these things were used. When the Minister of Finance, he said it. It's not as if they're going to say every policy of government or everything to the public. Do you get it? That theirs was just to do the right thing. And then I know that man is finding himself in a tight corner. He is. He is, yes. If he should open up to you, what he is finding now is not what he expected that he would find. He's a professional. He's in my profession. I know him for a long time. So he's good as an individual, but he has found himself in a bad government.
So we've dropped so much on the economy, and I know if I leave you today, you can keep talking about it. But let me come to you, Ndukwe Charles Ndukwe. Security. What is the solution that your party will bring to the table differently from what is being done right now? The government has tried to motivate the military, create more units, additional 4 units to the Nigerian army, collaboration with other governments, the US, France, EU, UK, and all that. What differently would you do? What different idea is your group preferring for the NDC to apply to tackle security? Should I say insecurity?
Okay. You see, the insecurity in Nigeria started, the insecurity that we're having. So every country also has its own insecurity. But the only thing is that Nigeria had insecurity before, but with time, just before President Goodluck Jonathan left office, the degree increased. So we started seeing certain forms of insecurity that were previously non-existent in Nigeria. Yes, and it started ideologically. If we understand as a people that the security situation we're having in Nigeria started ideologically and then was fueled by the bad economy. So you now see new recruits.
So there's an economic trigger to the
security. Exactly.
Just as our presidential candidate said.
Yes.
That approach is there. Then the other. Yes.
Ideologically, remember the early days of Boko Haram first, and then we started having some kind of security incidents, even in Abuja here. And then this kept going on, and we are calling for different approaches for better results. And then we now started having other groups coming up. Like now, there may be 2 or 3 of such groups in Nigeria. And then we're now having other forms of insecurity again, that apart from kidnapping by these groups, even kidnapping by normal kidnapping syndicates and even private individuals just for financial gain and other things. So these are the different facets of insecurity that we're having in this country as it is now.
What is your group profiling as a different approach?
Non-kinetic approach.
Yes.
So you're buying into what Peter and
Yes,
Frank
exactly.
said, and they'll talk to everybody who's agreed.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said ideological.
Yes.
You understand? If you understand the roots that is started ideologically. So you need to start with that non-kinetic approach. Then you need to look at the motivation of the security agents. You need to change their orientation. We even have recent cases of security agents, what they call defecting to these criminal groups.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we've had cases of law enforcement agents being caught supplying arms or doing that.
Okay.
You understand? This is about orientation and motivation.
And then improving the economy.
We need to improve on the economy. Yeah. You understand? We need to improve on
basically
the economy.
there are so many. I don't even want us to go into power sector.
Yes, and I wanted to add.
all of
Sorry,
that.
I wanted to add. Sorry, the last thing. I've not seen a ready-made emergency approach to these security incidents in Nigeria up till now. I'm sorry to say that.
Okay.
Yes. What is an emergency response to security issues? That all the states of Nigeria should have a standby security squad with air support.
So do you now support the current attempts at reforming the policing system in Nigeria with the introduction of state police forces?
Yes. Personally, I'm in support of state police. You understand? Personally,
But you should not be holding the tongue.
but it's also
let the election come.
It's too early.
Let the election come.
It's too early for we to know the dimension of the approach the state police will take. Is when I say that I can know whether I commend it, I say this was a good job or not. But in terms of idea, it's a good idea. Yes.
Okay. There are so many other issues, power and all that. But before I get to that, let's even talk about the campaigning. The APC has led the way in naming its campaign council. I've noticed that the NDC, as of yet, has not announced any, at least at the time we had this conversation. But what kind of roles do you see people like you playing in that campaign council? Or maybe you still stay in the background, you're not going to be very active in that campaign council?
Well, thank you very much. NDC Professionals Forum will play key roles, very significant, very important roles. You know, we have a network of professionals across Nigeria, and you know, ICT, you know, finance, you know, the law, you know, the medical area, all aspects of you know, human endeavors, and as it relates the campaign and then campaign. So we play significant role. One is that in reaching out, in media, in analyzing our policies, you know, bringing a kind of toolkits. You know, like we have a new Nigeria that is possible. We dissect that. We bring a policy document
so
into dialogue.
So you are very much assured that you play a key role
very much
in that campaign council. But
that's you referred to APC. I wanted to say something about that
because I was going to say that your organization looks like you are sticking your nose in another person's problem. You had a recent press conference where you were lampooning the APC, and I was like, what's your own?
Okay.
With the APC's campaign council.
Thank you. We are not prognosing, or we are not trying to interfere, you know, in their own affairs. We are professionals.
Okay.
In the NDC. Now, there are ethics that guide every profession.
Okay.
There are policies also that guide public servants.
Okay.
You refer to our press statement about the chairman of
National Revenue Service.
Nigeria
Revenue Service.
Dr. Zach Adedeji.
Dr. Zach Adedeji. He's my professional colleague. He's a fellow of ICANN. I'm a fellow of ICANN. I don't have any problem with him being a professional or doing his work. But look at where our press statement centered. He was appointed to serve on the campaign committee of the presidential campaign committee of APC as the deputy director of fundraising in the party. And he is the chairman of the Nigeria Revenue Service. You can see the conflict, that's what we call conflict of interest in our profession. And it goes against the ethics. Now, remember, NRS is on the first line charge. In short, their own first line charge is even special in the sense that before their remittances will go into the Consolidated Revenue Fund, they will have deducted their cost of administration or collection.
So they're like the first line of the first line charge.
The first line of the first line charge. And why do you put organizations, agencies on first line charge? To protect their independence, so that they will be neutral. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Now, is Zach neutral? No, absolutely no. In short, he has read so much misgivings about his capacity to handle that post. So we are saying he should resign immediately
from the position.
And then go into partisan politics.
Okay, you mean resign from the NRS?
NRS. Or he should take a leave of absence.
Step aside.
He should step aside. Take a leave. He cannot simultaneously, handle that post as the chairman of NRS and the effort. Bro,
are there any rules that forbid him from doing so?
Even the Nigerian Constitution forbids that.
Thank you. The lawyer is here.
Yes. Even the Nigerian Constitution, if you go to part 2 of the third schedule to the Nigerian Constitution, you see that it forbids a public servant from holding. Is
Zach Adedeji a public servant in that sense?
Yes. Even the NRS Establishment Act, encourages them to be apolitical.
Yes.
Do you get the point?
Encourages.
Yes. They need to be neutral.
No, doesn't forbid.
It forbids.
It states, maybe it was about it goes express to say that they should be apolitical. It says that NRS should be apolitical. So if it says NRS should be apolitical, it means that anybody who is working in a leadership capacity in NRS should also be apolitical. And if it says NRS should be apolitical. So anybody who is in a leadership position in NRS should be apolitical.
Even the Electoral Act of 2022 as amended. Okay, now, you should not use your position or office space or whatever, for partisan politics. That man is a public property.
He's a public servant, actually. You asked that question. He's a public servant.
Do you know? Okay,
who's a public servant?
Do you know he has? Do you know he has data about organizations? He has data
private individuals
about private individuals. Do you know he has a right to raise additional assessments if you are not paying your tax or even if you are paying? Do you know that? Do you know that people can be afraid? Oh, let me go and donate to APC so that I'll get tax waivers,
corporate favors.
Corporate favors. So these are the issues.
Let not even go into.
So as a professional, we are professional. He is a professional. He should step aside. He should resign or take a leave.
Yeah, do the partisan politics well.
I wish we had all the time in this world. Maybe in future conversations we can talk about the policies of your party in terms of power sector, the mineral sector and all that. But we really have to go. But I want to thank you both, gentlemen. But before we do that, let me allow you your last lines. In 1 or 2 sentences, what should we look out for from the NDC Professionals Forum? Let's start with you, the lawyer, Ndukwe Charles Ndukwe.
Okay, in this Professionals Forum, our motto is ideas, leadership, and impact. So I think that says it all.
Right, and you, Ikenna.
Yes, our national colloquium will be coming up sometime in September.
Hope will be invited.
Yeah, definitely. We are going to dissect the concept or the mantra of new Nigeria that is possible. Experts, even foreigners will be there,
Right.
look at it, and then. So NDC Professionals Forum is a wonderful forum, and Nigerians may rest assured that, you know, NDC will make that new Nigeria possible.
Right.
And then P2B, Kwankwaso as our presidential and vice presidential candidates are household names.
Okay.
We put confidence in them and vote them. You will not regret.
You'll be a proud Nigerian. We want proud Nigerians.
All right, this is where we draw the curtains today. I want to thank you for allowing us to have a conversation on the state of the nation with you today here on Inside Politics on UTV Africa. Stay tuned to this station. More will be coming your way. Until I see you again, remember, do your best to make Nigeria a better place. My name is Maddox Maduka Ujimadru. Enjoy the rest of your day.